10 seconds.
When it comes to your health, are you seeing the check engine light come on more than well? It's time to get under the hood. It's time for Ask the Doctor with Dr. Michael Lange. Sponsored by Lange Eye Institute and Fortifeye Vitamins. Dr. Lange is a board-certified optometric physician and certified nutrition specialist, helping people see and feel better through nutrition. For 25 years, the doctor is in. Call now, 969-8600, 877-969-8600. Here's Dr. Michael Lange.
All righty, good morning, and welcome to Ask the Doctor. I'm your host, Dr. Michael Lange of the Lange Eye Institute and Fortifeye Vitamins, here each and every Saturday morning live to answer any and all questions you may have regarding your vision, eye care, and a nutritionally related. Just by the skin on my chinny chin. I got here with like 18 seconds to spare, and I'm going to tell you why in a minute. So anyway, if you're new to the program, who's Dr. Lange? I'm a board-certified optometric physician. I'm also a certified nutritional specialist. I founded Lange Eye Care and Associates March 15th of 1993. About 10 years later, I founded Fortifeye Vitamins, and I've been hosting Ask the Doctor since April of 1993. So it's actually good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to listening or watching us, because we're live video streaming all over the world. We're on just about every podcast channel out there and a whole variety of radio stations throughout the great country. Live call-in show, no matter how simple or complicated the question is, pick up the phones and give me a call. It's 1-877-969-8600. That's 1-877-969-8600. And it's not give me a call, it's give us a call, because it's Dr. Richard hosting the show for a multitude of years now. And Dr. Hall is in the sports nutrition world. He's a clinical nutritionist. He was the first owner of a Gold's Gym in the United States. And he also had one of the largest sports nutrition centers in the country. And now he's on the Lange Eye Care team and the Fortifeye Vitamin team. And we're going to say hello to him in just a second. But one reason I ran a little bit late this morning, I joined the Whoop team. And that's a special band. If you see me on TV, I'm wearing it. It's a Whoop band, and it measures all of your bodily functions, sort of. It measures your heart rate, your O2 in your blood. It measures your calories that are burned, your exercise, your sleep. And, you know, I'm competing in the 60 plus. So if you want to check it out, go to iDude92. That's my screen name. If you go to the Whoop app, if you're a Whoop user, iDude92. So I joined the 60 plus. And we compete against each other. There's like 8,000 members. So I think I was in first place at 1 a.m. because, you know me, I got on my Octane. That's a recumbent bike elliptical combination from midnight to 1 a.m. and did a lot of it. So, and then I got up this morning at 6 a.m., rode my bike for an hour. That's why I'm a little bit late this morning, but made it on time. Anyway, that's the way we're going to start the program. We got a lot to talk about today. We're going to talk about building muscle at any age. We're going to talk about sarcopenia. That's muscle wasting. And Doc Hall is an expert in this arena. So good morning, Dr. Hall. How the heck are you?
Good morning. I was running a little bit late this morning myself, as you know. I was out with my group this morning doing my Saturday morning walk and run, and had a big turnout this morning. So I had lots of questions from some new folks that showed up. And so I ran a little bit late today too, but you know what? We got here and we're on the microphones live. And so good morning, everyone. And happy Saturday to all of our listeners. And of course to you, Dr. Lange. It's going to be a beautiful day here in Central Florida. And even if the weather is not cooperating in your town, I want you to make it a great day anyway. You can do it. I know you can. Don't let the raindrops or even the snow get you down. Make it a great day. Okay. By the way, today is National Tortilla Day and National Anti-Bullying Day. Very busy week at the Lange Eye Institute this week. Dr. Lange and I really didn't have much downtime, maybe only a good morning and a high five down the hallway. and then consulting on patient care throughout the day, but not too much downtime. Lots of patients and lots of interest in all of our new products that we have on the shelves. Speaking of patients, I want to thank all of you who visit our offices, and to those of you who stop by my office and for nutritional and fitness counseling, or just to answer a question, or just to say hi. So many of our listeners of so many are listeners, I should say, of the show, and they like to put a name with a face, and that's always nice. And anyway, big information-packed show, as Dr. Lange said today. It's all about muscle, energy, and strength, and ways to battle and combat sarcopenia, which is muscle wasting, and also neuropathy, that tingling and numbness that you sometimes feel in your hands and your feet. There are ways to battle that. Don't give up, okay? So listen in today. We've got some good suggestions for you and some good pathways for you to follow. So back to you, Dr. Lange. Let's get this show on the road.
Okay. We are back live. We're live on all the stations and Facebook and everything. We're just trying to figure out we're live on Dr. Michael Lange Instagram. Not sure yet, but maybe the engineers will come in here and fix it. So I also want to mention today at the Tampa Bay Convention Center, yesterday, Friday, started 8 to 8. And today, Saturday, 9 to 3, the ABC News Fitness Expo. So the ABC News Fitness Expo is going on today, and we're booth 210 at the Tampa Bay Convention Center. So it is the Fortifeye Vitamin team. Mandy's out there, and Tammy, my wife, they're out there doing it. So if you want to buy any of the vitamins, go to fortifeye.com, Fortifeye, fortifeye.com. And the phone number for Fortifeye Vitamins, and you can call now because Charlene's answering the phones, is 866-503-9746, 866-503-9746. But phone lines are open. If you got a question, give us a call. Call early in the show because a lot of you call later in the show, and we get into today, we can't take all the questions. So call now, 1-877-969-8600. That's 1-877-969-8600. So we're going to talk about building muscle at any age. Muscle wasting is called sarcopenia, okay? And a lot of you out there that are over 60 are developing sarcopenia. We're going to talk about that in a minute, but we're getting ready to go. We're going to take a break here, I think, in a minute and take some commercials so I can figure out some of the social media. But stay tuned. We're going to go to break in just a second. Doc Hall and me are going to talk about sarcopenia and muscle wasting and how you can use Fortifeye Fit Pro to actually help with that. And also Fortifeye Rejuvenate. So those are two things that we use in a combination to help with wrinkly skin, ligaments, tendons, joints, muscles, all of that all in one. So let's go to a break and we'll be right back in about 2.5 minutes.
There's nothing more frustrating and irritating than chronic dry eye. It never stops. The itching, the scratching feeling, the fatigue and weariness. If you're suffering from chronic dry eye, go to Fortifeye.com and join thousands who've discovered Fortifeye Advanced Dry Eye Therapy, a combination of Fortifeye Super Omega, Fortifeye Focus, and Fortifeye Blackcurrant Oil GLA. Fortifeye Advanced Dry Eye Therapy works to address oxidation and inflammation in the eye and the entire body. This combination, once only available to patients in the doctor's office, has now become available to you. And already, countless numbers of listeners have found relief in eye therapy. If you or someone you care about those with dry, itchy, exhausted eyes, order Fortifeye Advanced Dry Eye Therapy today at Fortifeye.com. That's Fortifeye.com, or call 866-503-9746. That's 866-503-9746 and at Fortifeye.com.
While others are hitting happy hour, you're hitting the gym. While they're hoisting mugs, you're lifting kettlebells. You owe it to yourself to get the most out of your fitness regimen before and after your workout with Fortifeye Fit. Fortifeye Fit's power-packed formula is designed to enhance muscle synthesis, strength, and endurance, All evidence-based nutrients in this proprietary formula are well documented and backed in good clinical studies, taken before and after your workout. Fortifeye Fit is also hailed for what it doesn't contain. No dyes, artificial flavors, or carrageenan. With Fortifeye Fit, you get all you need to get the most out of your workout without needless additives and sketchy sweeteners. Order Fortifeye Fit today at fortifeye.com. That's FORTIFEYE.com or call 866-503-9746. That's 866-503-9746. 866-503-9746. And at fortifeye.com.
Okay. Welcome back. You're listening to Ask the Doctors. Now we got everything rocking and rolling, all social media, all radio stations all over the world. Globally, you're seeing Dr. Richard Hall and myself, Dr. Michael P. Lange. So we're getting ready to take some phone calls. We're getting really loaded up. I just want to mention about muscle wasting. We're going to talk about sarcopenia. I'm pretty famous for saying God made a pretty good body as long as we give it the right fuel and you treat it correctly. So get out there and do some specific things. Remember, proper lifestyle changes. Stop smoking. Stop drinking booze. Hydrate. Plenty of good food, good vegetables, good fruits. Proper supplements. Plenty of sleep. All of this will help with muscle synthesis and recovery. We're going to expand on that today. But remember, all of this takes discipline. It takes sacrifice. It takes dedication. It takes a little willpower. And that's, one of the reasons I'm wearing this whoop band is to give me the motivation to get out there and exercise and compete against everybody that's 60 and plus in the country with this whoop band. Remember, if you go to the Whoop app, it's like, I don't know, whoop.com, and you can check out I Do 92 and see where I'm at around 4 or 5 o'clock today, because I'm going to be exercising all day long. All right, we got a lot of people loading up. Remember, we're going to talk more about sarcopenia with Dr. Hall in a minute. Remember, Fortifeye Fit Pro, the new sports nutrition supplement, which is pre-workout and post-workout, was developed for you guys and gals out there at any age to build muscle strength and endurance while stimulating your immune system. But it's especially good for the 60-plus crowd, the 70, 80, and even 90-plus crowd at helping you to gain some muscle mass and some strength and some endurance. All that is good as we age. All right, we're going to the phones. Let's go to Emily in Ocala. Emily, thanks for holding. Good morning.
Good morning, Dr. Lange. Thanks for taking my call. I'm calling about, I'm a little worried about my brother. I called him yesterday. He lives in Pennsylvania. And he said he had a headache. And then I guess after the headache, he was at the gym and stuff. He came out of the gym and he was walking. He looked down at the line in the pavement and he said he was like seeing double. And he said it's been going on now, I guess, for a couple of days, and not like he could sit and watch TV or when he's looking forward, it's fine. But he's seeing double, and if he moves his head real quick, then he has a problem as well. But he said he just, it happened after he had that headache. It was kind of in the front of his head. And he said he has some swelling around his eyes. Do you have any ideas?
Yeah, so is he a diabetic by any chance?
He's not a diabetic, but he's on some drugs, anti-cancer drugs. He had colon cancer and his blood count was off.
Right.
And he's on hydroxyurea for like 2 months now.
Yeah.
And he's like,
anytime you get double vision, I mean, I think it's more of an urgency, not necessarily an emergency, but an urgency.
Right.
And sometimes if you have double vision and pain and one of your eyelids is down, sagging, and an eye is turned out and down, that's an emergency, okay? Because that could be a third nerve palsy. And that is oftentimes an aneurysm at the bifurcation of the internal carotid and the posterior communicating arteries. So I would take this seriously, all right? Oftentimes double vision is nothing. It can be he fell and he had a little double vision after falling. It could be blood sugar. It could be blood pressure. But I would say if he has double vision and a bad headache, he needs to go be seen someplace pretty quickly, okay?
He said he doesn't doesn't have the headache anymore. He said he had a headache.
Right.
And then,
the other thing is have
so
a
that,
look at his pupils. And if one pupil is a lot larger than the other and he has double vision, he really needs to go probably to the emergency room. All right. But if the pupils are equal and he doesn't have double vision all the time, he might want to set up an appointment to see, a good optometrist or ophthalmologist. First thing, I mean, even today, you could go on Saturday and see an eye doctor. And
he
also
called it.
let his primary care physician know as well.
Okay.
All right, because he's got some other things going on systemically, and we want to make sure it's not something neurological or vascular. All right, double vision can sometimes be as simple as we get older and we're losing the ability for the media rectus muscles to converge, and we get a little double vision. Sometimes it can be what we call convergence insufficiency, and that's nothing to worry about either. Sometimes eye exercises can do it, but remember, we have to rule out the possibility of other things. I mean, diabetes, thyroid problems, myasthenia gravis, God forbid, brain tumors, aneurysms, strokes, pending strokes. All of these can also cause diplopia or double vision. So it's best to err on the side of caution, get checked out.
Okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Lange. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure, Emily. And keep us posted, okay?
I will. Thanks a bunch.
All right.
You have a great
Thanks. Bye. All right, we're going to take another call. We've got about 3 more people on hold. But Doc Hall, today our emphasis is going to be a little bit on muscle wasting and muscle building in the elderly crowd. And that's something that you see on a daily basis doing these free nutritional consults. It's pretty vogue right now, isn't it?
Absolutely. I'm a big observer of folks. I think I've learned a lot over the years from just sitting back and observing. And I do that once in a while. I just walk out into our waiting room and I watch our patients out there, and I see how they move around, how once they sit and they try to get up and stuff, they're using their upper body on the chair arms to get up. They're not really using their legs anymore. And then, of course, I see the balance problems as they're trying to walk, and I see the slow gait as they're trying to walk. And to a lot of folks, it's a struggle. And there's things that we can do that's going to alleviate that to a good degree. Maybe not take it away all the way, 100%, but there are things you can do. Many are resigned to the fact that it is what it is. And they are at they just say, well, I'm at a certain age, you have to expect these things, Doc. It goes with the territory, so to speak. Well, I'm here to tell you, there's other options to just giving up, giving in. As I have studied and researched sarcopenia, which is muscle wasting, and neuropathy for over 30 years. First of all, muscle is functional, folks. You got to remember this. It moves you from point A to point B. It's necessary. Okay, so giving up on this, it's not an option. Sarcopenia is not a condition of the aged, as we're told. It is more of a lifestyle change as we grow older. We don't exercise or walk as much, and 100% buy into. And I 100% buy into, I should say it that way. If you don't use it, you lose it. Remember this, the body will not create or maintain muscle it is not using. It's simple as that. I learned this big lesson from my being a competitive bodybuilder. I would build a muscle all during the competitive season, but then in the off season, I would lose a lot of muscle because I just wasn't training as hard. Okay. I wasn't pushing as hard. So the body would say, well, there's no need for him to carry, this big muscle mass and stuff. So we're going to decrease it a little bit. And it would. I was still training, but not at that point. That's what I try to get folks to not. You've got to do things in your lifestyle. You got to change a little bit. And so we'll talk more about this later, but I just want to give you a little bit of a sneak peek into to what we're talking about today. And I don't want you to give up and just sit down and get so many people to say, well, it's me in the recliner and that's the way it is. Well, that's going to be a bad lifestyle for you if you choose that way. So, but we're going to get into this a little bit deeper, and we're going to give you some ways to remedy this as we go. And two of the big things are two new products that Dr. Lange and I came out with, Fit Pro and Rejuvenate. We'll get into those in a little bit.
Yep. All right. Thanks, Doc. That's absolutely correct. You guys and gals, you can do this while we're talking. Go to fortifeye.com. That's Fortifeye, fortifeye.com. Go to the Fit Pro and check it out and go to Rejuvenate and look at the science section. Look at all the studies and the science. So Fortifeye Fit Pro, we're going to talk about the ingredients in it and how they benefit you. You know, things like HMB, how it actually can stimulate mTOR and IGF-1, and how overstimulation isn't good. So we don't want to understimulate. We don't want to overstimulate. So there's a fine line. We're going to talk a lot about that in a few minutes, but we got the phones. We're getting ready to take some calls here. Oh, I also want to mention we're running the special still on the superfood another week. It was a big hit. Our organic blue-green superfood, which is equivalent to about anywhere from 3 to 5 servings in one scoop of fruits and vegetables. It's all certified organic, totally transparent. We tell you exactly what's in it. It's 25% off with a code, Superfood25. Put that in the promo code section, Superfood25. And then also, you can always get 25% off if you sign up for the auto ship program, but you got to buy a bunch of them. You got to buy 6 to get the 25% off usually, but you can get 20% off if you just buy 3 and you sign up for the subscription. All right, we're going to the phones. Let's go to Marianne's been waiting patiently in Seminole. Marianne, thanks for holding.
Hi, good morning. What I'm calling about is one Saturday I heard you talk about you had your grain-free cereal. And I'm wondering if you can tell me what that is and how to get it. And
wow. And you know, I'm trying to think of the name of it right now. I'm picturing it. It was ancient grain. It was gluten-free. All right. It had more things like quinoa and amaranth and buckwheat and stuff like that. And it had a relatively high protein. It was all sprouted and it was organic as well. And you know, I'm at a loss right now. I cannot think of the name of that. In the middle of the show, I'll probably think of it. It'll come to me and I'll spurt it out. But
where did you get it? Where did you get it?
Whole Foods.
Okay.
Yep.
I was looking around. In fact, I looked at Publix had something they were calling grain free.
Oh,
however, I'm always reading the ingredients in the box, and it said contains bioengineered ingredients. So okay. I don't want anything. I don't want anything like that.
So I know one that I do like. It's called Ezekiel. All right, I'm not just promoting them, but Ezekiel is all sprouted grains. It's amazing. So it doesn't have the lectins and the phytic acid in all the grains because they've been sprouted. Ezekiel, and they come in a few different flavors.
But it is Ezekiel grain free.
Yes. That's a good question. It's pseudo grains that are in it, but it doesn't have oats. All right, not the ones that I did. And I don't love oats unless they're soaked a long time and they're organic because they're high in pesticide and high in phytic acid. I'm trying to think of what it is. And there's another one that I do that I had a little bit this morning with my eggs, and it's a grain-free one. I mean, it says right on the front, organic, grain-free. But if you shoot me an email, I'll give you the names of those.
But I heard you say grain-free, but then I just heard you say something about quinoa, and you mentioned other grains.
Right. So quinoa and buckwheat and amaranth, those are pseudo grains. Those aren't true grains. And so you can eat those, especially if they're sprouted. Remember, I'm not a big advocate of beans and a lot of grains and a lot of nuts and seeds either, because they can cause a lot of problems in our gut. But remember, if they're fermented and sprouted, that reduces these anti-nutrients that are in these things. So if they're fermented and sprouted, it's much better for you.
Okay, so I'm listening to your program, and maybe like what happens to me, it'll pop in your head.
Yep, and I'm going to give you my email address, and if you get bored, you can shoot me an email, and I'll tell you exactly what the name is. It's iDude92, so EYEDUDE 92 at iCloud.com, and iCloud is the letter I, so iCloud.com. idude92 at iCloud.com, and anybody can email me anytime, any questions at all.
Well, I'm one of those old ladies that doesn't have a computer or use the computer.
All right, then what I'll do next week, I'll talk about it next week on the show for sure.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
Dr.
Yes, sir.
I just want to give that caller a goal for label reading. You know how I am about that stuff, and she's learning, and that's how you learn. You know, just don't take it for granted. Just because on the box or the can or container it says, you know, all natural and healthy, and you know, whatever. Read the ingredients. Look at the back. Also, go to our website. And I just authored a article for our website on proprietary blends. And that's a big problem out there, folks. And you got to learn about that. You got to know what a proprietary blend is and how it affects the actual ingredients and formula of everything from supplements to food to drinks to you name it. And but please read your labels, know what's going into your body. Don't take it for granted, like I always say, that, you know, that somebody's looking out for you, because a lot of companies are not. They're just putting a product out there and hoping that you'll buy it.
Amen.
And, you know, we don't do that. At Fortifeye Nutrition, we don't do that. I mean, as you well know, Dr. Lange, some of our projects, some of our formulas have taken you and I a lot of work and years to bring forward. And you know what, folks? Some projects that we work on, they just don't come forward. They're on the back burner because we're just not happy with them. We couldn't get the taste right. We couldn't get the formula right for some reason. The mechanics just aren't there to do it. And so we don't bring it forward. We could turn out dozens of products a year. We just don't do it. We're very careful with it. And that's what brought us to Rejuvenate and Fit Pro. And so we'll talk about that in a minute.
All right, let's go back to the phones. I know Steve's been waiting patiently, but you got to wait a little bit longer, Steve. They got one person ahead of you. I think it's Scotty, actually in Mississippi. Scotty in Mississippi, good morning. Welcome to the program.
Good morning, Doctor. I appreciate you taking my call. And I'm a firm believer in reading labels too. And I like your superfood products. It's very good with your ingredients, and I've used it several times. I really like it. But I wanted to ask you about allergies or eye allergies. I'm around the trees a lot, and also have what they call a linguecula, which I'm sure you're aware of. And which you think would be the best eye drops that you recommend?
Okay, so that's great. You're outdoors a lot, obviously. Mississippi has a lot of that pollen, especially in the spring. And so a lot of people can have
Yes.
allergies where the eyes get red, itchy, swollen, watery. And you can buy something over the counter called Pataday. It used to be a prescription, and you can use that during allergy season. It's a topical mast cell stabilizer and antihistamine. It works quite well. But my favorite drop is called Optase. Optase MGD is even my more favorite one. So Optase or Optase MGD, and that stands for meibomian gland dysfunction. Optase is a lubricant that has hyaluronic acid in it, which is sort of acts as a natural anti-inflammatory. So not only does it lubricate the eyes, it helps reduce inflammation that may be caused by antigens, you know, that cause allergic reactions. But also the lubricant is diluting the antigen that causes the allergy. So I always say first use Optase or Optase MGD. A close second is Oasis. And we have all of those on our website at fortifeye.com. But first try that. You can't overuse it. You can use it 10 times a day. It won't hurt you. And then if your eyes are still a little red and itchy, then go to the over-the-counter Pataday. But then remember, a red eye can be something else than allergies sometimes. Sometimes it can be viral. Sometimes it can be bacterial. And sometimes it can be something much more serious. So the gist of this story is if your eyes don't get better quickly, obviously see your local optometrist or local ophthalmologist. If there's ever pain and blurred vision with a red eye, go directly to your optometrist or ophthalmologist. And then a pinguecula is like a callus that's built up to the environment, to the ultraviolet light and the wind. So wearing a good pair of sunglasses that has some wrap to it, and then using the lubricants, once again, the Optase MGD during the day while you're outdoors, and all the people playing a lot of golf and pickleball and tennis and mountain bike and road biking, you can put these lubricants in your eyes as well. And also, if you do much driving at night, it's a little trick of the trade from racing cars at night. You put a little lubricant like Optase MGD in your eye, and your vision at night is increased significantly.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out on your site because I've gotten some Fortifeye, and I'll try that, maybe that Optase and Optase MG. Okay, well, I appreciate it because, out here in Mississippi, if they got this some big burly strapping fella out here crying, they're going to wonder what's wrong. I really appreciate it.
All right, Mr. Scotty, take care.
All right, buddy. See you.
That might be the Honey Island swamp monster that we were just talking to. All right, let's go back to the phone. Steve's been on hold for about 20 minutes now. Steve, thanks for holding, my friend. Good morning.
Remember last week we talked about the meibomian glands?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, this week is chapter 2. I looked up the meibomian, the meibomian problems, and there's about 7 genes which are associated with it, which I had no idea. Just like there is for MD or for other diseases, there's about 7 genes which they found correlate to it. Also, the average temperature of the melting point for the fluid is 86.9 degrees in most people, but in people with meibomian gland disease, it's 113 degrees. So there is definitely a reason. And what increases that melting point is that, you know how proteins are polymers of amino acids and starches are polymers of sugar?
Right.
Well, you know what the polymers of fat are?
Tell me.
Waxes, like earwax.
Right. Okay.
And there's a high correlation between people who have problems with earwax buildup and people with meibomian gland problems, because the waxes form, which are heavy molecular weight fats, which are very, very sticky and sluggish. And what happens is they pile up. And so another one is in meibomian glands is the ratio of cholesterol to cholesterol esters is very, very high. In other words, the cholesterol, which is a fat itself, forms esters, and those are very, very clogging to the meibomian glands. And the last thing I found was that the ratio of polar molecules to nonpolar molecules, that means molecules that have a charge versus those who don't, is very high in meibomian gland disease. So that's what I found.
Everything you wanted to know about meibomian gland dysfunction. For our listeners out there, the meibomian glands are little openings along the lower and upper lid margins, and they get clogged as we get older, and they get clogged in people that have acne a lot, a little bit more prone to get clogged, rosacea, things like that. But heat really helps these. And you think about it, heat melts the wax. And so we can use a hot compress. We can use something like the Bruder mask that you put in the microwave for 20 seconds and put on there. But what we do at the Lange Eye Institute is we do something called the Thermal One Touch. And the Thermal One Touch is a scientific device. They've calculated how high to make it heat. So it goes up above 110 degrees, and it actually stays on your eye for 10 minutes. And then we come in after all that waxy stuff is liquefied and use a special tool that squeezes each meibomian gland, and it just expresses all of that waxy garbage that's in there. And there's a lot of stuff in those meibomian glands. There's bacteria, there's viruses, there's even eggs from mites, something called Demodex. And so when we squeeze all that stuff out, then the glands work a lot better. And then if you keep your eyelids clean, good lid hygiene, take a good omega-3 fish oil like Fortifeye Super Omega or Fortifeye Super Omega-3 Max, then hopefully they stay open. So we do the Thermal One Touch at the Lange Eye Institute. Most doctors are doing something called LipiFlow or iLux. We used to do both of those, but LipiFlow was $1,500. That's quite expensive. iLux was $600. That's still quite expensive. And none of them worked that great. And now the Thermal One Touch is only $300, and it works amazingly well. So it's not covered by insurance, But those of you that have chronic dry eyes, swollen lids, get a history of a lot of styes on your eye, sandy, gritty, burny, teary, itchy eye, fluctuation in vision, you might be a candidate for the OcuSoft Thermal One Touch. And so, like I said, we do that at the Lange Eye Institute. Let me give you the phone number for the Lange Eye Institute. I'm going to give it to you twice. Get a pen and paper. It's 352-753-4014. That's 352-753-4014. And you can also set up an appointment to see Dr. Hall for a free nutritional consultation. We try to do most of those on Mondays, but we can do them on other days as well. But Mondays, he gets loaded up. We don't let him out of the room. He's doing consult after consult, nutritional consultations for free with Dr. Richard Hall. And Steve, thanks for that call. You're always very informative. I always learn something from you.
Okay, and there's one article I think you and your guests that would be very helpful. One of the biggest subjects you have on here is dry eye,
right?
That you talk about. There is a very, very comprehensive article in the Optometry Review Journal, and it's called "How Systemic Drugs Can Trigger Dry Eye Diseases." How systemic drugs trigger dry eye diseases. And you might take a look at that and then comment on that next week if you would.
That's a good idea, because there's many systemic drugs that our patients are taking that certainly aggravates dry eyes. I mean, there's a whole host of them, but we will talk about that next week. Thanks, Steve.
Okay.
Right.
God bless.
Thank you. And we're still loaded up with calls. If you got a question, give us a call at 1-877-969-8600. That's 1-877-969-8600. Judy and Ocala, be patient for just another minute here. And Doc Hall and I are going to talk about something after the call with Judy. But I want to mention, again, before we run out of time, the Fortifeye Fit Pro was developed for all of you at any age to help build muscle, strength, and endurance. There's part of the nutrients that are in it. There's something called HMB, MyHMB. This is a key nutrient for sarcopenia and muscle building. It's produced naturally in the body, all right, from a metabolism of a branched chain amino acid called leucine. But your body doesn't make enough to get the benefits to help stop sarcopenia and muscle wasting. So they make it. And HMB, MyHMB, is the one that's been studied the most. And what it does, it boosts protein synthesis in plant protein and animal protein. It reduces muscle damage. It improves body composition. So it helps get rid of your fat and build muscle. It improves strength, and it improves recovery and endurance. And clinical studies have proven that the results of this do work. And here's the kicker. It's safe with no negative side effects. So it's made actually in the body naturally, but it's made by microbial oxidation of a special fungus in the lab. So this is good because it helps us produce IGF and mTOR. That's mammalian target of rhamnoisin. And IGF-1 is insulin-like growth factor. And all of this increases muscle synthesis and inhibits muscle breakdown. It also helps with bone mineralization. So all of you with osteoporosis and osteopenia. But remember, you take it per the dosage, our Fit Pro, because more is not better. Remember, more can be harmful. By the same token, too little can be harmful. And they found out when you add HMB with vitamin D and creatine, it's the triple whammy of fighting against sarcopenia. The only creatine that we recommend is CreaPure creatine. It's the only one made in Germany. Everything else is made in Asia. And we'll talk more about creatine in a minute and some other things that are in our Fit Pro to help with sarcopenia. But let's go to Judy. She's been waiting for quite some time. Judy, good morning. Thanks for holding.
Oh, thank you so much for taking my call. Apparently, at the age of 80, and I'll be 81 in a week, I'm fairly healthy for my age, even though I have a pacemaker and arthritis, actually osteoporosis. Otherwise, I'm quite healthy. I'm very active with my life, even so. But something happened a couple weeks ago that kind of got my attention. My fingers are all after I do grocery shopping, I'm in the car driving and I'm saying, what's wrong with my fingers? They tingle like crazy. And I'm saying, well, you never had this symptom before in your life. So I'm thinking I have this sarcopenia. Does
Well,
that sound like I may have,
well,
or?
I would venture to say at 80, you probably do have a little sarcopenia. Tingling in the fingers can be a whole host of things from, poor
Mhm.
circulation and neuropathy, to just, a blocked circulation, your hand falling asleep. There's a whole host of things that it can cause that. And I think if it's something you need to address with your primary care physician, okay? Now,
Of
uh,
course.
but
Uh-huh.
sarcopenia is when we get a little bit weaker, a little flabbier, a little more wrinkly.
Uh-huh.
The strength isn't what it used to be. And quite frankly, like Dr. Hall talked about, everybody says it's age related, but lifestyle changes occur when we get older. I mean, you think about it. Most of the people listening right
Sure.
now, what did they have for breakfast? They had a bowl of cereal, all right, or they had a
Right.
bagel or a piece of toast and coffee. We should put some egg omelets into our breakfasts, or have a whey protein smoothie or something like that. You get more
Right.
protein. And remember, that stimulates the things I talked about a little while ago to help stop this sarcopenia. Now, that's why we created Fortifeye Fit Pro, Judy. We put
Uh-huh.
um, creatine, vitamin D, we put MyHMB, we put collagen protein, we put whey protein, all grass fed, beta anhydrous, L-citrulline. All of these work together synergistically to help promote wellness in the muscles, the ligaments, the tendons, the joints, the skin, the hair, the nails, the immune system. So it's not a cure, it's not a treatment, but like I said, God made a pretty good body as long as we give it the right fuel. And I like to think that Fortifeye Fit Pro, we're getting closer and closer to that right fuel every day. Remember, we started with Fortifeye Fit 4 or 5 years ago. Now it's called Fortifeye Fit Pro. And who knows, down the road, we might have, Fortifeye Fit Pro Extreme or something like that. As,
Right.
as studies show, Doc Hall and I and the entire Fortify team, we stay abreast of the changing times. We're constantly going to continuing education. We're doing research all the time, and we're going to make our products better every year if it's okay with the science and the studies. We just don't throw things together willy-nilly. Remember, we have full transparency, everything in our formulas. We tell you exactly what's in it, and then we have the studies on our website to prove why we put that ingredient at that particular level. So I would consider, the Fortifeye Fit Pro, one scoop a day, and you can actually take 2 scoops a day, even before you exercise and after your exercise, but at least 1 scoop a day and see how you do. My mother, who's 96 now, I've had her on the Fortifeye Fit for 5 years. She's now on the Fortifeye Fit Pro. She looks forward to it because it's delicious. And I tell you, she's 96 and she's going strong. She looks like she's
Oh,
75.
God bless her. Yeah,
But have that
that's
checked
great.
out, that tingling in your extremities, have that checked out. I mean, a whole
Uh-huh.
host of things can cause that. And it's
Okay.
hard to get into that right now. Doc Hall is also kind of an expert in neuropathies as well.
Judy,
Uh-huh.
let me ask you a question. This is Dr. Hall. Do you have any of this tingling or numbness in your feet or legs or anything like that
No,
other than
no,
fingers?
not at all. Just
Okay.
my hands, both hands at the same time, and
Okay, well,
before. So,
that's a good thing because then it leads me in another direction. And of course, we want you to check this out with your primary, and that's always a good thing to do. But it
yeah.
sounds like there could be a little bit of a circulation problem going on there in your fingers,
Uh-huh.
and and that's we can you can remedy that. If you work with your family physician, there's things you can do for that. So, but you're on the right track by be inquisitive and going forward. That's the biggest thing.
Thank
We
you.
don't want to sit down. So again, I'm going to award you a gold star today too.
Oh, thank you so much, Dr. Hall. Now, are you available in Ocala on Mondays?
No, I'm in the villages on Monday, Tuesday,
Uh-huh.
Monday.
We've got a phone issue there. But
Oh, yes. Well, I have what you call a cyber attacker. That's why.
join the club.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a cyber attacker. I can't use any cell phones either. It's a real problem for me. Yeah, I guess it's clear now. What do you know?
Judy, where do you
I-
live?
I live in Ocala, closer to the Dunallen line, though.
Okay.
Near 484. Yeah.
I was exclusively in the Ocala office for, I don't know, 6-7 years, I guess. And but now I'm down in the villages all the time. If you can come down, please make yourself available to do that. All you have to do is call the front desk, tell them you want an appointment with Dr. Hall, and again, it's no charge right now. And if you can come that way, that's great. If not, please check with your physician too.
Yep.
And what would the address be at the villages? There's so many different addresses over there.
What's the Lange Eye Institute? It's on County Road 101 and 466. It's right across the street from the Village High School and next door to Publix. But if you Google Lange Eye Institute, it's the biggest building in the villages. Everybody knows where it is. But it's on the corner of County Road 101 and 466, right next door to CVS, across the street from Publix. Okay.
See, they have blocked me from all communication, so I'd have to go to the library and check that out. So, yeah, this is actually, I'm not the only person that's getting picked on as far as being blocked from communication.
No, it's a big problem, Judy. It's a big problem. Everybody's getting
It
hacked
really
these days.
is.
Yes.
Really
Judy.
true. But I thank you so much for talking to me today. You have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Judy.
Thank you, Judy.
And we had somebody on hold. I guess he got tired of waiting, but wanting to know how many eggs you can eat a week. And so eggs are one of the best proteins. It's a complete protein. Eggs are very good for you. As a matter of fact, 4 eggs a week reduces the chance of macular degeneration accelerating. But heck, I had 4 eggs for supper last night. All right. I sauteed them in a little olive oil and I put a lot of vegetables in it and had some water with it. So eggs aren't as bad. They got a bad rap in the 90s. Eggs are actually very good for you. Now, like I said, everything in moderation. All right. So eggs is a complete protein. The yolk is actually good because that's where the lutein, zeaxanthin, and the choline and acetal and all the vitamins and minerals are. And the white part is the protein, and it's pure protein. So how many can you eat a week safely? I don't know. I mean, I think you can eat an egg a day and not have a problem at all. It shouldn't really affect your cholesterol. All right. Remember, exercise, cardiovascular exercise, and weight-bearing exercise are important. So eggs are pretty good. Getting back to talking about Fortifeye Fit Pro, we talked about the HMB, the creatine, the vitamin D, all for sarcopenia and muscle wasting, but also grass-fed collagen in it. That helps osteoporosis, ligaments, tendons, joints, and muscles. Believe it or not, collagen helps the muscles as well. The grass-fed whey protein that's in it, amazing for muscle synthesis. And then the betaine anhydrose, that lowers homocysteine, which is a risk for heart disease. It also boosts protein synthesis, reduces fatigue, and it helps with power, muscle power, and it helps reduce depression. So all of this is in our Fortifeye Fit Pro. The whole show seems to be talking about Fortifeye Fit Pro, but you can get a bundle with 3 Fortifeye Fit Pros on the website. Look at the bundle section and go to fortifeye.com, Fortifeye, fortifeye.com. And also you can call even today, Saturday, 866-503-9746. That's 866-503-9746. And don't forget the organic blue-green superfood. Use the promo code Superfood25. Put it at checkout in the promo code section. You're going to get 25% off. So that's Superfood25 for the organic blue-green superfood. Doc, that was a fast show today. We're getting close to go out of time. You got about 30 seconds to tell everybody goodbye.
Well, it was a great show. I wish we could go back to we were doing once in a while, we do a 2-hour show, and you used to do a couple hours a day. And there just doesn't seem to be enough time. But thanks, everyone, for tuning in. Remember, we're here because of you, our listeners. Be kind to yourself this week, and please be kind to others. The world needs that right now. And we're going to see you next week on Ask the Doctor.
Thank you, Dr. Hall. And remember, go on out to the ABC News and Fitness Expo today until 3 p.m. Our booth number at Fortifeye Vitamins is 210. Go see my wife, Tammy, and Mandy out there at the ABC News and Fitness Expo. That's at the Tampa Convention Center. So check it out. And remember, check out Fortifeye Fit Pro. And, of course, I rejuvenate if you want to minimize wrinkles at Fortifeye.com. With that, I'm out of here. Have a great day. God bless you, and God bless America.